So overall, that has been my update. We still highly recommend this one. The 12.9-inch model, if you're getting the cheap one and you want that display, you can actually make use of it. It is a great device. But for an overall computing device, do I think I was a little bit too harsh? Honestly, guys, after trying to apply what you guys were saying and using it the way you guys suggested, I still am having a very hard time making sense, unless money doesn't matter for you. Sure, in that case, buy all the Apple devices and use them. But overall, other than the display, I don't think it really is worth it compared to older options for much less money buying a refurbished or used.
So make sure you stay tuned for that. So after 2 months with the 11-inch M1 iPad Pro, I feel like this is definitely the way to go. A lot of you guys wanted to know how the...
And this is the new M1 iPad Pro. It looks almost exactly the same as the last one. That's because if the screen's not on, it almost is the same as the last one. But there are a couple things that are new about this that make it even more of the ultimate iPad, which again naturally raises the question of like, well, what is an iPad anyway? And what is a computer? I'll get to that later.
It's still a little bit slow to charge, and we haven't got any improvement in that area. So that's something I would like to see for the next iteration. So let's wrap up. And this is a pretty big refresh of the Pros. But if you already have an iPad from the last couple of years, I don't think it's worth an upgrade, at least not yet. Let's see if the M1 chip comes into its own and makes these genuinely more of a Pro device rather than just a souped up iPad Air. But if you've got any questions after...
And I have to say, for day-to-day usage, the performance of this M1 chip is just completely not worth it. It's just not useful for me in my purpose of this iPad. I usually do note-taking, photo editing, watching videos, and probably do some whiteboarding. I use a bunch of whiteboard apps. I don't know, I feel like I'm just wasting my money on this M1 chip because most of the stuff that people do on an iPad, I'm not talking about creative professional, most of stuff that people do, like general people that uses iPad will probably be totally fine with A14 or even A12X Bionic chip. Now, I feel like I'm not utilizing the full potential of this chip at all. The only real advantage that you can actually feel from this tablet is probably on the RAM side. Since this tablet have 8 gigs of RAM on an iPad, which is pretty crazy, you can probably
all together. So do I recommend the iPad Pro? Absolutely. I love this thing. I'm a daily user. So it's an easy recommendation on my end, and 2021's version is no different. One thing we do have to
Screen protector, don't tell my boss. Okay, in general, is the iPad Pro worth buying? I have already outlined that I enjoy using this device. It has enhanced both my work life and my hobbies. But I do have to concede, I did not buy this. The Office did. So would I spend 1100 MSRP for the iPad Pro plus 350 for the Magic Keyboard? You know what? Maybe. It would have to be in lieu of a laptop.
I actually prefer this. Not because I don't like screen real estate on a big screen. It's just because I love this screen size. This is just a more fun way to work. I can carry this little thing everywhere. The keyboard is fantastic to write on. The speediness of the M1 chip feels great, and it's even better with the 120Hz screen. Alright, I'm actually not able to do all the work I want to do on the iPad. Or maybe I could in theory. I'm working